the last couple of weeks, especially this past week. Everyone's like, are you on Clubhouse? What is Clubhouse? Us Android users are feeling left out in the cold because we can't get on Clubhouse. So I'm like, let's do a little piece on that because I think a lot of people have questions. So Shiley was gracious enough to, of course, she was on it probably 4 years ago, but who knows? But she's going to give us a little intro to Clubhouse and how we can all benefit from it.
And if anyone has an invite, please
set
send
countdown to
me.
5 minutes.
I gotta say it's invite only at this point, right?
Only one invite per person. Yeah.
Do you need more than one per person?
There's more. There's ways to do it. There's ways to do it.
Okay, go ahead, Shiley.
Yes. Hi.
I'll take it. Let's hear it.
I'm doing a recording on my end, so I just want to give everyone a heads up. But thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm Shiley of Your Social Media Sherpa. I work with you to get clarity and accountability doing your own marketing. And today you're going to get a little taste of what it's like to work with me, because I'm going to tell you how these platforms work, what I've seen on there, how you potentially could leverage it, and you're going to get a taste of what it's like. The Sherpa experience. There we go. That's what I'm going to call it. So Allan was making a joke that I've been on there for 4 years. I haven't, but here's the thing. I heard about this in the summertime from this really cool tech kid, but like at that point, nobody I knew remotely had any clue how to get on there. And I tried for months. And in October, I heard about it again. And then in the end of the year, a network I was in, they were people who were offering for our community to get in, and I was onboarded. So I feel really grateful. Now, if you're worried, oh, by the way, if you have any questions, put them in now because 5 minutes goes quickly, and I know there's so much goodness here today, so put them in the chat now so we have them. So with Clubhouse, first things first, people are like, oh my gosh, how do I get an invite? Okay, so yes, you have to have an iPhone. The other thing is, if you are a contact in someone else's phone that already has it, you might not have to use up one of their invites. And you don't just get one invite. I might have had a few over the years. The more you participate, the more invites you get. So there is a way to get around having to get an invite from someone. Put yourself in someone else's phone book, and it makes it a lot easier to add them. There's a few other details. You can probably Google it and get the insights. So there's ways to help you there. So let's see.
You can take 6 or 7 minutes. You don't have to
Oh,
you can
great.
take a breath.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Look, I do a lot of speeches, and I'm always like, being on time is a huge deal because
I
there's.
know I told you 5 minutes, and we've got Quincy coming up, but take your time.
Yes.
No, I like this. See if you can do it faster.
Look, one of my goals for the last 2 years was to figure out how to talk slower. So this is a great reminder from the great Allan, who I'm sure is awesome at this. So here's the other thing we can do is that is anybody who has it? Who has it already? Okay, so I know Susan just followed me this morning. Oh, so not a lot of you.
No, yeah,
okay, so the first thing, if you're thinking about maybe playing with it, just get it, reserve your name, and it'll let people know who you're in their contact books that you're interested in looking for an invite. That's the easiest thing to do. That's the thing. The other thing is the vibe of this thing, and I'm going to see if I can share my screen so I can actually show you what it looks like. If I get lucky here. But the vibe of it is, do you ever go to like a conference? Welcome to my cell phone, by the way, everybody. It's coming. If you ever go to a conference, I know I love conferences, there's a bar usually. At the end of the night, everyone's done with all the business stuff, and everyone's hanging out at the bar, and everyone's schmoozing, and everyone has an agenda. You know what I'm talking about here? The Clubhouse is kind of that vibe. It's like everyone is like somebody, right? Everyone is like a personality. Everyone is like somebody. Like even in this group, right? Every one of you has a following and has a community and all this stuff. But it's like we want to hang out socially, but indirectly, if this person we want to schmooze is on there, we can like kind of build a relationship with them while drinking and intoxicated. That's the vibe I get from Clubhouse. That we're real people first. But if you happen to be somebody is like a director of a Philharmonic, fundraising group in the States. I'm like, that's pretty cool. But I'm talking to her about like toilet paper or something dumb. But like that opened up the door to getting to her to talk about something more deeper, right? So that's one of the things I think about. And this is one of the things I don't think a lot of people are seeing on here, but I think people prefer what I've done, which is be a little bit more personal. And then at the bottom, I think a lot of people are very good about putting like their like mini landing page in there. And I think a lot of you already have that. I put mine at the bottom because I think people want to get personal first, and they're like, oh, wait, you do social media? Tell me more about your thing. And I think that's the vibe that people want. I don't think people are noticing that, but that's what I've noticed. So you want a cool bio. So if you have a cool bio, I would make sure you put that on there because I don't know how many of you have connected on something random that you just learned about me from this bio, right? I love Big Brother. Anybody loves Big Brother, like, my people here. So that's it. Bio is great. The other thing I wrote down, is what's the other things I can tell you? There's a guy.
Shelly, can I
Yes,
ask you a question?
please jump in.
What is Clubhouse? Tell
What
us
is
what
it?
actually is.
Oh,
yeah, like
great.
It's just audio only, correct?
It is audio only. So let's say like there's this room right now called the Power of Social Media. Paris Hilton was in there yesterday. And then Perez Hilton's also popping around here. So you click it. Do you hear it?
I don't hear it, but I see it.
Build a team for the.
They're basically all
for
talking
one
about
thing,
stuff. You have all these
or am I
hosts,
not? And I'm pretty happy.
and then
with
you have a
what
bunch
I
of
do.
listeners. So you might have a chance to listen to someone else's conversation. You can have lots of VCs are on here. Lots of coaches are on here. Lots of real estate agents are all over the place. So there's a lot of stuff there. I'm going to look in the chat too for some questions. Let's see. Yes, it is iPhone only, but you can use an iPad. iPads work. Thank you for the compliments here. Yeah, if you have an iPad, that's the workaround right now. I know. Oh, it's so rough here. I know Alan said you have an old iPad that you might use. That's great. The
Yep,
other
let's
thing,
try that.
the more people you add, the better your feed is going to be. So you'll see all these different rooms. There's a lot of businessy rooms in there. But here's the thing. Some of these rooms are massive. So you can look at the people's profiles and names. But what I like to do is I go to the Explore tab and I go to the bottom and I find all the tiny rooms. So one guy yesterday just coached me on how to do my TED Talk if I wanted it. And it was just me and him for like an hour and he was giving of his time. And I said, that was really nice of him. Some really cool people you can get in front of here. There was Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank was on here. Damon Johns from Shark Tank is on here. People that you never could have accessed are now on there. If you want to find out how to find really cool rooms on here, you follow Ed Nussbaum. He's like the guy, and he has this is what his profile looks like, and he has all the different rooms in here. So if you go to like his memberships, you can go down here and you can see his memberships where I'm scrolling, or you go to his following and you see all these other clubs that exist on here, and you can network with some great people. Also, yes,
he creates his own room, or does he, like, what do you mean by memberships and all of that stuff?
So that's a great question. So like, I don't know if you went to USC, like here you can find other people from USC. I know I'm in a few Jewish ones because like, why not? It's really funny to be in there. There's a few women in business ones I'm in. Alpha females. I don't know. That is a real thing. I guess that could be something you can follow, but you can get more room invites from there. The other thing that this is really unfortunate, but if someone does invite you there, their job to really uphold the culture of this platform is to introduce you to this platform. They should be doing this with you one-on-one as you join the platform so that you don't feel lost about this. There's so much that we can talk about with this. But the whole thing is too, if you do talk, like today I was monitoring my time. You want to monitor your time when you're speaking on a stage. I was speaking in front of 100 people the other day because I got brought up to ask a question. And people listened to it and then they followed me and then I got a bunch of followers. It's kind of great. So you want to be cognizant of how much time you speak. The other things I want to say is, allergies are real. I should put that in my bio that I've got allergies. I think a lot of camaraderie. Part of my script, yes. If you do join Clubhouse and you do get an invite, do not follow the default people that it tells you to follow. A lot of them are weird. Do not follow them. Look for people in your network. You can allow your contact book to show up and you can find the names of people that you can add on there too. The sooner you get on this platform, the more friends that are going to come after you that are going to find you. You also have all of these different rooms that you can find. So you can look up identity. Let's say you want to do LGBT. You can find all these different rooms that are queer related. So there's a lot of different rooms you can find with good people. These are the kind of nuggets that I've put down. But yeah, be a real person, contribute. A lot of coaches are doing a lot of free coaching on there. It seems like it's very beneficial. And it's also this is a great way to hang out with people when we don't have places to hang out in. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things. I also think that Twitter has already knocked this off, and it hasn't been launched to everybody yet, but stay tuned for this. So
Shiley, one more question.
I'm going to look in the chat too.
Is this something that you can get business from, or is it just basically exposure?
It can be something you get business from. Absolutely. So there's a woman that we did a speaking engagement together. Her name's Ashley Kirkwood. She's a killer lawyer. She's also a speaker coach. She's already got 3,000 followers on here. Anytime she goes online, immediately a bajillion people want to come into her room because she's sharing stuff. People are finding out about her. And because, this is something you should know, because there's no internal messaging on here, everyone has to reach out to you via Instagram or Twitter or either. So a lot of
Oh.
people, so I added my LinkedIn on there, but so for like people are messaging her now on Twitter, they're messaging her on Instagram, and she's getting more followers because people want to talk to her, and she's able to offer like her lead magnet. People are able to get into her orbit because they met her on here. But the reality is you can have a majillion followers on here, like I have 157, but if they don't go on the app, that doesn't mean anything. If they're not on the app constantly looking, those followers aren't the same as if you put out a tweet. Or if you're on LinkedIn, is that they have to be on the app for them to actually go to your room and see what you're up to. And that's something you should keep in mind. But yes, there's a lot of possibility for business and referrals. I mean, there's lots of people being like, I made $1 million. But it takes a little bit of an effort. You are the same way that you're doing LinkedIn Lives or a podcast or whatever. You need to curate an experience for the people that are coming to your room, or you need to say really brilliant things when you're in other people's rooms. The demographics on this app, lots of real estate agents, lots of coaches, and lots of VC type people. There's also like a bunch of like astrologer type people. And there's also like comedians and musicians I found a lot of, and I think it's going to keep expanding.
Awesome.
Yes. Anyway, there's a lot of nuggets in there. If you have more questions, I'm in the chat and I'm happy to answer more. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Ooh. Actually, where's my...
I knew you would be a big help with this, so thank you, Shiley, for giving us that quick overview. It's I am gonna crack open my old iPad and see if I can get on it. So.
And you know what? I'm gonna say, Allan, one thing that I always tell my clients is experiment. Is that everybody's got to find the right platform for them. You don't need to do a million things at once. I know you've experimented with TikTok, and I know you've got a podcast. Like, experiment with what's right for you, because then you can put a little more effort and see if you like it. I don't even know if I'm going to commit to this, but experiment. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on there and following you all very soon. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Shiley.
You're welcome.
I've got a comment, and well, actually, sort of 3 comments. One, I listen to a lot of books on Audible, and I always turn the time up to like 1.5 to 1.7 times the actual reading speed.
Same.
And my wife always gets upset because she says, nobody talks that way. Well, now I can say, yes, they do. And the second observation about Shiley, and she speaks so clearly and articulately. There's no question that she provides value in the time that she gives you. She packs a lot of information in. Now, the serious comment that I have is I think that Shiley's onto something here with the, Dave and I are kind of working on something which we'll bring back to you hopefully within a couple of weeks. But one of the observations that I have is that social media is breaking down in a lot of ways. Twitter and Facebook stock is down 20%. There's a reaction to all the stuff that's going on, and we won't go into that. But it's interesting, and I think Shiley's onto something by looking to a niche opportunity outside of the mainstream media. I still am a fan of LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn's good. I think YouTube's got advantages. I think all of them have advantages. I'm for myself, I'm just being a little bit cautious about dependence, but I like the idea of testing alternative social media very much. I think there's a little spark of brilliance in wading into those things. I've looked at MeWe, which is very interesting. It's very, very new. Doesn't have a lot of traction, but I think these things like Shiley's talking about are really worthwhile to investigate.
Absolutely. I will add, Allan, how are we doing on time? I can be as brief as you want here. Can I?
Yeah, be brief because we got to get to Quincy.
First thing, like you said, Robert, absolutely experiment. I would say this: match your eyeballs and your current audience, the people that already love and adore you, to where you're putting out information. That's where you're going to win, and that's where you can get new eyeballs that are similar. Experiment, play around, find where you have fun, because if you don't love it, you're not going to do more of it. And social media is about the people, not about your business. Provide for the people, and the people will provide for you.
Awesome. And I'm sure Shiley will, you can contact her directly, especially on LinkedIn. She does take about 30 to 40 seconds to get back to you. So it is a little bit of a waiting time. So if you do message Shiley, she will get back to you on LinkedIn. All right. First of all, Daya and Jeff, welcome. I know you guys came in while Shiley was talking. So how you guys doing? And someone else had a question. I heard someone chime up.